All right, so this video is on rules and zones, and they're located in these two tabs here. So firstly, we'll start with zones because generally you're going to have a shipping zone. That's part of a rule in most cases. So the way we do that, there's a few test zones that we've set up here, but basically what you would do is click on Add Shipping Zone, and then you'd give it a name. So let's say this one's going to be called Adelaide Metro. Okay, country's going to be Australia, the state is South Australia. And in here you would enter postcode, so you might enter a single postcode, or you can enter a range of postcodes and every postcode in between. So you might say 5,000 right through to 5,150 postcodes and so on. Now you can also exclude states or zones. So for example, if you chose a shipping zone that was all of Australia, you might exclude a particular state, for example. In this example, we'll exclude maybe a postcode. So let's say we don't want to include postcode 5050, for example, for some reason, and so on. You can enter more there. So once you've done that, you click on Save, and then that Adelaide postcode will appear there, as you can see. The next step is to actually go to the rules. So in this example, we might set up we've got no rules here at the moment, so we'll click on Add Shipping Rule, and we might set up an Adelaide Adelaide Metro is free rule. Now you can name that whatever you want. That's up to you. The next section basically sets up what the conditions are. So the one you'd most often use would be all conditions are true, but you can set obviously all conditions are false, any conditions are true and any conditions are false. But we'll just start with the basic one, which is all conditions are true. If you don't set any start date or end date for the rule, then the rule will always apply, so it'll continue forever basically. So it's up to you whether you want to choose an actual start date or an end date. In this example, we'll just leave it as always on. And then it comes down to pricing model and what you want the rule to do. So there's a few options here, and we'll just go through them. So the first one is flat or free, so you might offer a flat rate for this rule or a free shipping. The next one is if the rule applies, you would apply only the cheapest quote at checkout. Or you might apply only the fastest quote. So if you want to offer an express shipping option for your customers, for example, with next day delivery, something like that, you might choose only show fastest delivery quote. There's one here called 50% off cheapest quote. So that's just, you're halving the cost of the shipping and you're wearing half of the cost. Or you might want to do cheapest plus extra fee. So that's where you might add on a handling fee of, you might add on $5 to the cheapest quote that's displayed. In this one, we might just do a flat free, which a lot of people use. So we might just say, look, it's going to be free shipping if anyone's located in the Adelaide metro area. These two options here, we'll start with priority. This is if you have a whole range of rules that you want the system to look at checkout for a buyer, you would set them in a priority. So obviously 1 is the highest priority. You would say, okay, the system would look at this rule first, and then it would go on to a rule that has priority number 2 and priority 3 and so on in order. If, for example, you want this rule to apply only once the system's gone through and found it, and if it's true, then you would say end here. So if you didn't want the system to look at any other rules, you just said, okay, it's found this rule, it's gone through at priority 1, it said that the customer is in Adelaide and free shipping will apply, then you would say stop here and enable this option as I've done just there. It wouldn't look at any other rules. Otherwise, if you don't want that to apply, if you want the system to look at all shipping rules and come back with the cheapest, then you would just leave that as off. And you might set this at a priority of 10 or whatever. It's up to you. But just remember, the highest priority is number 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and so on. And it would look at the rules in that order. So if you're happy with that, you click on Save, and then it's just a matter of actually adding a condition. So this is what the rule is looking for. So in this one, the main priority was to look for a shipping zone that was Adelaide. So if we go through and find the Adelaide metro zone, we click that add condition. So that's the main one. We might want to add another one, for example, where the cart total is greater than $100. So click that one as well. So the rule is looking for anyone that's in Adelaide, in the Adelaide metro postcode zone. And if the cart value is over $100, if they're both true, then it'll return a free shipping cost to that customer. And then you can obviously add more conditions as you go. That's basically it. You can get pretty extensive with, obviously the number of conditions that you add. I would certainly recommend, once you set up a rule, to just go and test it in checkout. Just enter in those details that you're looking for. Make sure it returns the correct rule that you're looking for. Particularly if you have a number of rules here, a whole list of them, it would be a good idea just to test those, just to make sure that it's returning the type of pricing or strategy that you're looking for at checkout.